Well, such diplomatic talks are likely to be vital for Ukrainians in need of humanitarian assistance. Our reporter Omar Dehen is in Medica on the Poland-Ukraine border. He joins us now. Good evening, Omar. Now, we heard earlier about this failure to secure a humanitarian corridor in key cities, but what does that setback mean for the people of Ukraine?
Well, Janice, it means the lifeline for civilians still inside Ukraine is now hanging by a thread. We've been hearing dire predictions about the further loss of life if Russia's attacks did not stop and safe passage wasn't granted for people trying to escape the fighting. That hasn't happened, and now civilians in besieged cities remain trapped, and the prospect of aid to be delivered there is severely hindered. And this is as record numbers of refugees continue to cross the border. 1.4 million Ukrainians have now escaped the country. In Poland alone, that number is 800,000, and the hospitality they're being met with here remains unwavering. Volunteers are supporting the people of Ukraine in any way they can. Some families are even providing shelter, welcoming them into their homes with open arms. In the snowy town of Bolostreshica, 15 kilometers from Poland's border with Ukraine, is a home where the residents and their guests hardly know each other. Not that you would know it. On one side of this table, Polish husband and wife Maciej and Eva. On the other, a Ukrainian family they've taken in, helping them find refuge amidst the helplessness of war.
Siedząc przed telewizorem, mówię do żony, róbmy coś.
Myśmy takie rzeczy czytali w podręcznikach historii. Tyle ludzi naraz przyjechało tutaj, wiadomo, to są kobiety, to są dzieci, no nie można na to tak patrzeć.
Such hospitality is stopping families on the brink of falling apart from doing so. Anna arrived from Lviv last Monday with her 4-year-old daughter, teenage sons and mother. Her husband couldn't leave Ukraine as per government order. He, like so many other Ukrainian men, is now a member of armed forces.
Стрес мали, шок був, але ми дуже здивовані, що нас так тепло прийняла Польща. Воєнні стоять, борються наші хлопці і будуть стояти до останнього. І сказали, що вони Україну не віддадуть і будуть боротися до кінця.
For Anna's mother Vera, fears for her country's future consume her every thought.
Это страшно, никто не думал, что так случится, что будут какие-то переговоры, что все домовится, а то с каждым днем все хуже и хуже.
Through a narrow hallway in the home is another family holding out hope they will soon return to Ukraine rather than go further than Poland's border. Yulia's daughter Emma is sick. She caught a cold during their journey out of the central city of Dnipro, and with her husband also on the front lines and her country under fierce attack, Yulia is mentally and physically sapped.
Мне больно. Я не знаю, куда мне ехать. Я не понимаю, что мне делать. Я думаю о том, что я хочу вернуться домой, но у меня нет такой возможности. Мне некуда возвращаться.
But in Yulia's mind, the most ill of them all is Russia's president.
Больной человек, его должны остановить россияне.
Our interview then comes to a halt. Yulia has had enough, and Emma is late for a medical appointment. Maciej and Eva are driving them to a GP who now offers checkups for refugees free of charge. Poland's border communities coming together in these darkest of hours. Since the beginning of this crisis, volunteers in Poland have worked round the clock to support humanitarian efforts. We've spoken to many people who've taken leave from their jobs or travelled across country or across Europe to be here. But the exhausting work to support Ukrainians who've suffered so much continues to have no end in sight. Yesterday alone, more than 100,000 refugees crossed into Poland. That's a record high. And if the influx persists for months as predicted, people are starting to ask themselves, is this sustainable? But in the meantime, they're doing the best they can for as long as possible.
Robią to wszystko charytatywnie, no bo nie ma innych rąk do pracy. Jesteśmy my.
Jesteśmy szczęśliwi, Ja osobiście po prostu czuję w sobie taką ulgę, że mogę im pomóc po prostu. Robię coś dobrego.
Poland, a nation forever shaped by unspeakable horrors during its invasion by Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union in World War II, now leading efforts to support one of its neighbours and its people. In Bolosrashica, Poland, Omar Dehen, SBS World News.